Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Baduk. We're doing another 1Q game on Tygem. So let's jump into a game and see what we get here.
The game is
Alright, looks
done.
like we got a game. I might be white. Let's see if they stay. It's a 2Q, which should be fine. Let's just do a 4-4 on the other side. And we'll do the same thing that they're doing, a 3-4. Okay, approaching high. I think it's always fine to just attach underneath. I always really like this one. I don't really like to let black attach in the corner. He's going to do the avalanche Joseki here. That should be fine. I personally prefer this extension rather than starting the avalanche. And you can just turn here. I believe you can push one more time where you can slide here. So let's do the slide and be very solid. I think black should probably look like a turn here or play one of the corners. This side is getting fairly large, so it might be a good idea to either split or approach on this side as well. Let's approach the 3-4 point, which is usually the big move. I think a pincer here would make a lot of sense to try to build the bottom left quadrant of the board. Anything else I think is probably still acceptable, but I think the simplest option is a pincer. Very good. So we could do the press here, but instead of doing the press, let's just come over here to this approach. Because I'm going to leave this and let him figure it out. Because as I said, this is sort of the bigger area. And it's harder for him to capture this corner with one more move. So let's approach. I'm approaching on the bottom side. Okay, he's going to Tanuki. Approaching on the bottom side. Just because of the Aji in this area here. He needs to play one more move in order to kill this stone. It could be good for me to extend up, but I think I will not worry about that. And I can just take the corner. And this should be good. Because if he separates the stones, I'm going towards the direction that I really want to go. If he plays one more move in this corner, then I'm happy to extend that way. But him blocking this way now is good for us because he doesn't have another move on this side, so I can push up here. He's going to push and cut, I guess. So if I connect on this side and he goes to capture this stone, it looks like that does work for him. So I probably do have to just capture in the corner. Normally they would capture here or Atari here and then Hani over the top. But there's no stone on this side, so it doesn't make as much sense to do. So now is a good decision-making point here. He really wants to try to fight in this area. So it could be good to jump here. But can he push and cut? Looks like he might be able to. We don't want to jump high because he can fix his shape in an easy way. So we probably either want to extend or jump anyway. And if he pushes and cuts, we can Atari and kill the stones. So let's just jump here. This should be ruining his shape on the bottom, which will be good for us. Right now would be a potentially okay time to have Haunted over the top, but he did not. So we just Atari this stone and then go down to capture these three. Which is what I said would happen. just capture should be good. Now he needs one more move here now. And then we get to attack these 3 stones on this side, which also helps nullify any of the potential that was over here. It's a little bit difficult to know exactly the right move. We need to do a pincer. We can't go over the top because then you can go underneath and just make a base. If you do this one, it's I think a high pincer is, or a, yeah, I think high is a little bit harder to deal with. So we'll play high. I think 2 space to restrict the space a little bit. He can go underneath, but it's kind of an awkward shape for him. Just going to come out towards the center. This group is alive. So we could push. And if they come out, we don't really have to worry too much about the cut. But if we let them get the cut, that'll also make it easier for them to survive. So it might be good to protect here, forcing them to push us on the 4th line, which should help us get some territory, and they still wouldn't be alive. I'm not sure if we should jump or just extend, but I think just extending should be fine. Just extend. We probably need more liberties before we can really Hane, because black does have some strength on the other side. Now if we Hane and they cut, it seems a little bit more possible to try to kill. But it also might be a good idea just to settle over here. So I'm going to jump. If they take the tiger's mouth point, then we can do this move to create some shape on the side. And they have to jump out towards the center one more time. This is not the right move. But it might still be fine. Let's... So we can always live with one move over here. So it's a good idea to push and cut, potentially, to separate these 2 groups from each other. I'm not sure the best cut.
Overtime countdown has begun.
But I guess it doesn't really matter. The push versus the knight's move, it should basically be the same. So let's do the knight's move. Before living, you should most definitely cut off the 2 groups. Since we are very solid here at the bottom, we don't have to worry about anything on this side. We only have to worry about this weak group over here. So if they push and cut, we can probably just Atari and fix the shape. They jump out, and then we can live on the left side. Then when they jump out here, it's not too big of a deal for us. And we probably do want to Atari, because they can always net anything if we try to cut this stone off. So the Atari makes sense. This is, I guess, a time where you could potentially read this out here. If they Atari here and push to try to capture, you turn and they have to do this empty triangle. Then you could Hane on the outside, but I don't think you can kill anything.
5,
So I think it's good to
4.
just connect solidly here. Ah. They're going to try to kill this right away. So let's see if we can get enough ice space here. We should attach here. And then connect. There should come over on the other side now, probably. I think the safest move for them to play is to just connect here. Ah, very good. Now we have to protect our own shape and not worry. We might be able to get an exchange like this if we really want to, but probably better to just protect ourselves.
9, 8, 7.
So let's make a simple exchange. This one, letting you connect underneath. Just connect, we have to. And since they did that one, we could clamp or maybe do this one. The clamp seems like it works though. If they do this Hane, you just Atari. If they try to connect underneath, they don't have enough liberties. So just clamp to make life. Now, he still has to worry about both sides because neither side is really alive yet. Looks like we can probably extend this way because this Hane doesn't seem to do anything, I believe. Then they can jump out with the knight's move. They did not decide to jump out, so we should take the move that they should have played. So the reason we want to take this move is, of course, to surround them a little bit. But when they go to jump out here, and we jump out, we'll have to save this group. Ooh, slightly bad shape. We'll have to save this group, but we can make some points on the top. So let's just save our group. Let's make a table shape, threatening to surround this left side. He peeped the... So this isn't really a peep because this doesn't cut anything. So what we want to do is we want to continue to surround the left side now. We can Hane, I guess. And just protect our shape. Threatening to surround again. Might as well Hane. This double tiger's mouth shape is very strong. And they aren't really making any points on the bottom. But if they get this Atari, they could potentially try. So let's do an extension here. This makes our group very strong in the center. And now we should jump out over here. It fixes our shape. So now we have a very, very strong position in the center. But I don't think we really need to worry too much. We just want to try to turn this into points for now and just leave this as a strong shape because it should just be alive directly.
9, 8, 7.
So we should peep here. And we want to play a strong move here or a push. I guess we could push. Either one's probably fine. Yeah, let's push. I think that shape's a little bit better. Just Hane. Okay. So he can break this area, but the side's alive. So it doesn't really do anything. And he still needs to live on the other side. Okay. Making more points here. So is this a net? It looks like it could be. So instead of trying to continue fighting this, we will just continue to make some points on the side. And this turn also prevents it from being a net anymore, because I can now Atari here. So now I should extend here because I have this Atari. Let's see if I can get anything from that. Atari, connect, Atari, Atari, capture, Atari, connect. Looks like they could surround. So one thing we can try to do is use this uh, netting thing that they have to our advantage in whatever way possible. Let's see.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
So let's try to get a little bit of something here. This move doesn't do anything directly, but if he blocks here, then we can cut on this side. Let's connect up our stones. Now they have to do something in this area. There we go. We could cut this off, but we are getting a little bit weaker on this side. So let's use these cutting stones a little bit more and get this attachment in. And then save our cutting stones. So we lose a little bit here, but now he has to live on the other side. Okay. So he's not alive over here now. So we probably just need to play simple. So we'll turn here, threatening this left side group. And we can just jump and just make some simple shape. He should just do this. Tiger's mouth. We can peep the tiger's mouth. And then we can play here to basically create two eyes. So there's some Aji with this group on the top and some Aji over here. He's trying to prevent me from using this stone, which is probably good. So how do we live here? It's the best way. We can probably just play very simple. And now we should have two eyes. And this cutting point is a little bit of an annoyance for black. So now it's just big end game moves left.
9,
Like that one. This is probably Sente, so we might as well do it. This is the cut that I was talking about already. If he Ataris me down, I get to capture these two stones. Or if he does that one, then we get to cut off the center. So I'll just take the shape point. So this is only one eye currently on this side. So let's take this and see if we can get anything. So if we cut, then they do this one. We can go down, and they capture. We don't really want to get them a capture there if we can. But it looks like they can probably make another eye over here. So let's just connect this underneath. They can throw in here. And then do this one. But then they have to make the second eye now. And there wasn't really going to be any points here in the corner. I can still take the points if I need to. So let's see. It's a little bit of Aji with this group, so let's jump in and see what we get. I think we can extend. Hmm. So we got to save this one stone. And there's still some Aji with this one. But it's probably just... They're probably just alive now. Yeah, there's probably nothing there.
9, 8, 7.
So we can just block this, which is really big. And we want to get... It looks like there's nothing there right now. So we want to get this Hane. It's quite large. And we really need to get this one next, I think. I probably should have taken this one first. But I wasn't thinking about it. Kind of already forgotten about this area.
9, 8, 7.
Sure, that's 1 point in Sente. Sure. It'd be pretty big if he captured that stone. Because I think I would then have to make sure I have 2 eyes. Just block. They're actually doing really well with the end game here. Ah, I think blocking may have been a mistake. Yes, it was. It was a mistake. I had to look at the score estimate there. I probably have to just give this one up.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
But I think this move here is the right one. It's a little bit too much Aji there. I was supposed to just protect the cutting point. So that's what you get when you play a little bit too quickly.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 2
They're thinking hard on this one. I think they can just extend down. And then I have to protect in the corner, I believe. They might be able to get this peep first.
9.
Maybe that's what they're trying to read.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh, maybe they're letting the time run out. They've been doing a pretty good job with a lot of their reading so far. I think a little bit better than I would expect for 2Q, but I think I also didn't play perfectly in this game.
The last overtime. 9, 8, 7.
All right, let's see if they play.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I won by time. Well, even losing these 5 stones, I should still be ahead by 10 points or so. If I use the general analysis here, I'm ahead by 10 points without counting Comey. So the game was good for me. As you saw, just me slowly getting some points and pushing them around was good. I played a couple bad shape points, though, so we should look at that. And my opponent actually played fairly well. So let's check out the game and see where my opponent sort of went wrong. So as you saw overall in this game, my opponent's reading was actually fairly strong, but they only really have this area over here that's territory. Even after capturing these stones, which was a mistake on my end, they still only really have this and this little area here. Whereas my corner in the top right is probably about the same size as this one. And then I have an area on the bottom and on the left, and I have Comey. And I have the top left as well. So the top left, my mistake here was blocking right away. I didn't need to protect these stones right away, but what I should be doing here, I can either play the vital point like this, or the simpler move here would be potentially this one. But this does leave a little bit of Aji with some sort of attachment here. So I think the safest move is probably this one. So my opponent's reading was good, but their direction was wrong. The direction is very important in this game. You don't really... no game request. My bad. Refuse. Let me turn those game requests off real quick. All right. So you don't really have to be really good at reading in order to just gain points, especially in the opening. And that seems to be the thing that he probably needs to work on, is just playing the more standard moves, because his reading is good enough to probably push him up to 1 Dawn to 3 Dawn area. So if he worked on his direction of play, he's probably fine. So let's see where he went wrong in his direction. This is actually basically fine. I prefer white, but I don't think anything's too wrong here. His turn, though, while it is quite large, it's definitely a little bit too small this early on in the game, and he should be taking some sort of corner enclosure. If he does that and I jump over here to cut him off, he doesn't even really need to worry about anything here. He can just push me down, or jump out and save his stones, or pincer, force me to connect up underneath and just go over the top. That doesn't really matter too much. But turning here, while it is big, I think approaching is bigger first. So I approach, then he pincers, which I think is the correct direction. And then I do this move here, and he follows up with this very small kick. So his direction here was fine. When I approach, he needs to answer. He can kick first if he wants to, turn into a fight. He could do something like this. Then if I play here, he can jump down. I will have a little bit of weakness on this side, so he can probably solidify the corner. And I probably need to do something on this side. But instead he kicked here. I'm not going to extend, because that's the wrong side now. Now it's important to deal with this left side area. I could do a double approach, but I think taking the corner is the simpler way to play. And he blocked on the correct side. And maybe the way I should have played here was just doing this safe move. But I didn't like it if he jumped here or if he just backed off. Because it's hard to really attack things on this side when I play this move down here, because I need to jump up one more time. And if he played close on this side, then he can just surround this. And even if he has to give this up, this is probably fine, and he can then extend along the other side. But he doesn't even have to do that. He can probably fight back here, and I won't have enough liberties, because my stones are a little bit too far away. So pushing up here was a way to get a little bit more strength in the area, so that if I do want to fight with this stone later, I can. Because if he just, like Hane's on top, he can do some sort of double Hane thing here. I have a little bit of a shape problem, but I might be able to fix it with something like this. And then now he can come over here, and this territory is not necessarily settled for him. I can probably just scoop this out, as long as I'm able to get this move here at 6. But I think the simpler, more calm move is often better. I can press him down, and if he just has to crawl, then this is very good for me, right? Because you have to have 8 stones in a row to be alive, or 7 stones to be alive when I turn, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now, if he plays away, and I turn here, he can just be alive. But this really broke up his area very much, and so I would be very happy with this as white instead. So that's why he decided to push and cut, but what he didn't realize was that I could just Atari directly. If he then protects himself, this is maybe a little bit better than in the game, well, than the previous variation, but I still get to attack the left side group. And my group here is still very strong. So it wouldn't be too different from the actual game other than the fact that he got some points. So this is probably what he should have done in comparison. But he didn't realize that I could just capture. And this would be too strong for me, especially since he has to come back and finish off this area in order for it to actually be worth anything. But he also owes a move on the left side. So what he should probably do is protect this left side. And yes, a 2 space here instead of 3, because I'm very, very strong nearby. If I come in here, he just has to protect himself and run away and not really fight back. And I would probably have to come up here. This group is probably alive, but he's just not getting any points here. Apart from that, it was basically just a simple game of me living and keeping him cut off. It was all that was really happening the entire game. I could have tried to get more here, but I figured I could just live with this sequence. I threaten to connect up underneath so that I can live in a little bit of a wider area, and this group should be fine. This push here was bad by me, though. This is where I start playing some questionable moves. It felt like this might be good, but he actually took advantage of my shape very well in the game. So the original move I was thinking about was just doing this one. Basically, without the peep, I was going to play this 2 space here. So I wanted the peep to just reinforce, make it so you can't attach to the sides of the 2 spaces easily. But then I got a little bit greedy here and tried to go for a little bit more. But he understood that and was able to just double Hane and push through. Now, the only problem is that he's still a weak group. He can probably live, though, but he is still a weak group. So I am able to get a little bit of profit on this side. Because I'm able to just get all this corner profit, and I was always focused on trying to take some territory somewhere, whereas he was always just focused on the fight and defending himself, I was able to get the lead in the game. So I hope this game was fun for everyone and you learned something from it, and I will see you in the next video. Have fun.